checked out with you guys yesterday. I mentioned that I was gonna get up and shoot sunrise this morning, but last night I just coughed all night. I've got this cold that's been lingering for like quite a while, for like a week, and it's at the stage where it's clearing up, but that also means it's like clearing up, and I just coughed all night. So I didn't sleep a minute last night, could not drag myself out of bed for sunrise without any sleep. But it's been like 3 or 4 years since I've properly photographed London. And so even though I'm not shooting today, I do want to go out and like do some location scouting in some of like the classic photo location spots here in London. So I'm gonna head to Westminster Bridge. That's where you're gonna find Big Ben. That's where you're gonna find Parliament. That's where you're gonna find basically all the like major tourist things here in London. Despite having a ton of tourists, London's usually not that difficult of a city to photograph because you have all these bridges. You have these big bridges that cross the Thames River here and give you like a really nice perspective of a lot of the classic iconic locations. So I'm on Waterloo Bridge now, and in the background you can see the London Eye, you can see Westminster Palace, you can see Big Ben, you can see all the classic things. So there's a lot of really cool views from these bridges. It is a little bit messy right here, so I think I'm gonna skip this bridge and head on over to that bridge, which I think is called Golden Jubilee Bridge. Even though conditions are far from ideal, middle of the day, kind of overcast, I'm doing some shooting because I think I can have some fun or at least check out the compositions in the middle of the day. So on the camera right now, there's the 16 to 35 millimeter. I've got that 10 stop ND on right now because I broke my 6 stop yesterday, but also because I really want to slow down the shutter. And I've got a 3 stop grad on ND on there. And right now I'm shooting 2-minute exposures. So they're coming out a bit gray, but that's the nature of the day. So I think they're coming out kind of cool anyway. I'll show you guys right now. I get called out for this all the time, and I totally just noticed all the sensor spots I have on the vlogging camera. So sorry about that. I promise as soon as I get home, I'm gonna do a sensor cleaning on this thing. The last bridge I want to show you guys is Westminster Bridge, and as you can see, it is the busiest tourist spot in the entire city. It's always just packed. Sorry. Getting in other people's photos for a change. It's the busiest place in London. The first time I ever shot London, I got this shot from here of like the buses, light trails, and then Big Ben in the background. And I think every single photographer, every single travel photographer in their first year or two has that image in their portfolio, so kind of funny. It is incredibly busy right now, as you can see. And I'm just gonna wander around, have a quick look here, and then be on my way. There's so many people. No offense to that guy on the bagpipes, but the bagpipes must be the most painful sound in the world. It's just brutal. I do not understand how anybody can think that that's a good sound. Man, I also don't understand how people have such terrible spatial awareness. It just shocks me. I'm here on the bridge with about 4,000 selfie makers, and I'm just gonna keep exploring down on the other side. The bridge makes for a cool shot if you can get away from the people a bit, but even better than being on the bridge is just on the other side along the waterfront. Wow, spatial awareness, people. Use those eyes. Use them. Anyways, I'm gonna continue over to this other side. So come down here to the other side of the bridge. As you can see behind me, really cool photo spot. And the best part of this photo spot is, unlike up on the bridge where you're fighting through people and fighting with people, here you can just like set your tripod up right here on the ledge and have like a clean shot. Even if there's billions of people here, you can still get that shot. And a really cool location. You got Westminster Bridge, you got Big Ben, and yeah, really fantastic. I'm actually like absolutely loving my time in London. If you've been following for a really long time, you know 4 years ago when I was here in London, I really wasn't much of a fan of the city. But this week so far, I've loved it. This is my first time coming down to like these iconic locations again. But over this week where I've been offline, I found a lot of really, really cool locations off kind of the beaten path. And yeah, really loving London. And that's fantastic. Now, having said that, I can sense my nerves starting to go a little bit just with the crowds of people up on the bridge and the lack of spatial awareness. So I think I've got to escape this part of town a little bit right now. I think I'm gonna not call it a day, but just wander away from this part of town. And I have to go find a camera shop to replace that Lee Little stopper I broke yesterday. So let's go do that. Well, it's 100 pounds lighter, but you need the tools. That's the cost of business sometimes. Oh, I'm back home in Fulham, and I'm gonna call this an episode because even though I had like a full week to catch up on work, I'm still way behind because of the cold. So I'm gonna find a coffee shop here. I'm gonna work for the rest of the evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. I think that tomorrow I'm starting a big road trip to Scotland, like a week road trip, which would be a lot of fun. So I'll see you guys there. Peace.